In this edition of GSN in Conversation, we talk with Jaylen Lennan, Verdes FC defender and Belize national team player. All right, Jaylen, thank you for coming on here. I know it's your birthday, so happy birthday. And I appreciate you doing this on your birthday. Could you start out by just telling the fans, kind of introducing yourself, and some of the biggest highlights in your career so far, how long you've been with Verdes FC?
Um, and first of all, thank you for the birthday wishes. Um, my name is Jaylen. I'm 24 years old. Well, completing 24 today. I've been with Verdes FC for the past 4 years. I was actually with Benca United for 1 year, and I came back to Verdes to finish off these past 3 years that I'm with them. Right. So the first year I was with Verdes, I was not playing. Went to Benca United to develop my confidence uh, with a coach from Peru. Then I came back. I came back to Verdes after that season, like to up my game, right? So my the biggest highlight of my career would be playing against Costa Rica. Uh, you see players that be playing in Saudi Arabia, in Europe. You don't see those things every day, right? So that's basically my highlight. And to see the different type of ball that they're playing, it's really fun and exciting.
And I'm sure that's a goal of yours, I would assume.
Yeah. Actually, the goal is always to get out of here, like to get out of Belize, to to find another team, right? But unfortunately, it's a bit harder for us to get out of here. I'm not gonna lie. It's not enough agents and people with connections outside, so it's a little bit of a ride for us.
Well, and I think that's something that in the future, a lot of the new ownership for Premier League of these teams and things are trying to change that by bringing an international audience. And even GSN, we know with our media, we've started the coverage of the Premier League of Belize to really try to bring an international audience and get more fans engaged. So that's something we want to see. We want to see as many opportunities as possible for players, like you said, to make it easier for that to happen. And so my next question was going to be the CONCACAF, right? Verdes FC is preparing to play in that cup coming up. So when does that preparation start, and how does the team prepare for that?
Well, to be honest, the preparation already started from yesterday. The coach already came in. He's already phase already. He already started with the preseason. Preseason is no ball.
Mhm.
It's strictly running, getting yeah. Enjoyed your 3 weeks vacation. Now you come back and you gotta lock in. So the
Yeah.
CONCACAF is obviously like it's harder than the Belizean league by far, right? So you gotta go there, gotta get prepared to go there and face those higher teams. So this year, I know Verdes could actually go out and get some points from the 4 games that we have to play.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe you can as well. And also, I wanted to talk about Global Foot Sports. Is that like your agent, or what is the ties there?
Yeah, he's my agent,
Okay.
Alex. So he's the one taking care of me at the moment, and I trust him. Yeah, he has a lot of good connections as well. So with my trust in him, I know I could get somewhere along this like career.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing. I feel like if more people like him can come in and help out the players, I think that's great for Belize football. And I was wondering too, Verdes FC, has been dominant, especially in the recent years. How does it, to win a championship and then come back and win it again? Like, what kind of mental preparation does the team have to, keep going and keep improving to maintain that?
Bro, I'm gonna tell you, it's not easy. You go through up downs, and the season is not that long, but it's like 3 4 months. You go through morning sessions, evening sessions, every day is double sessions, and that's the thing that Belizeans don't get, right. They want to know how we win so much, how we go out there and perform every weekend. but they don't know the amount of work that we put in on a daily basis. We work out from Monday to Friday, double sessions,
Wow.
right? And then, to be honest, this three-peat that we have, the first season we did bad. We were knocked out in the semifinals against San Pedro, and then Verdes is not a team that likes to lose, so they came back with everything, full effect, double sessions, gym in the morning, uh, field work in the afternoon, and that's what the coach instilled in all the players. So, and everybody, no one likes to go home and be like, oh, I lost. No, Verdes is about competing, and then the thing with Verdes as well, I feel like it's the most professional, like more professional than any other teams in right, because of the work ethic that we have and the coaches that they bring to to execute their plan, right? So from the get go, we had a coach that was like, he's not coming here to lose,
Mhm.
so we fix things. We better fix things up and get that championship. We got the first one. We did the same thing the second time. Yeah, we got it back to back, so we wanted a three-peat. So we went again. We work even harder to get a three-peat, and to get a three-peat is hard. I was telling the guys today, if I get four, I'm a retire at a young age.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, congratulations on all the success. Seriously, I mean, I know that is very, very difficult, and of course, the hard work pays off. I mean, as you can see. So I guess my next thing was, I know with all the success, when did you first kind of start as far as like knowing that you would want to do this professionally or that you could do this professionally? When was kind of that moment where you're like, this is really something I'm going to do?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Let me see. It was let me see. Let me recall. It has been long though.
Mhm.
Um, I had a coach. Well, he's the one that returned it. Like, he has came back to the Verdes. So he was like the one that he instilled that in me. He was like, look at your size, look at your height, look at what you could do with the ball. Right? You're smart.
Mhm.
And he every day he would come to me and talk to me. And they're like, you could go outside. You could do something with your career. You could get out there. Right? I didn't. Well, I'm gonna be for real. I didn't believe in myself at first, and then afterwards, um, they had other coaches that told me the same thing that he was telling me. So I know I was doing something right. So he came back and he told me that since he left and he came back, I'm improving. So I know I'm definitely doing something right. And then um, my chip changed last summer. Yeah, we were preparing for CONCACAF as well, and then we went out to Cancun to preseason, and then Mexico, like, it's not deep in Mexico, but the Mexican team they could play, and then we played our preseason. I did exceptionally well. I came home back. I had the ability to start a CONCACAF game, something I
Yeah.
had never done in my life. It's a series that I have never played. So the coach gave me the confidence to go out and play at 23 years old. And I was like, I haven't played here yet. So I was locked in. Like how I told you, I was locked in. So all the work that I put in, I gave it all out in that game that I played, and I played well. I liked it, so I liked how I played, and everyone came to me and was like, "We didn't expect that from you. We didn't expect you to go big in your first CONCACAF game." And some people fold
Yeah.
in their first, when they were like they were giving me like positive feedback, so I was like, I know I could do something with my career, man. And that's when I changed my chip.
Amazing, yeah. That's an amazing story, and I mean, you're still, like you said, such a young player accomplishing this. You think that that's really important to have somebody that believes in you, like a mentor, to really push you to go further and believe in yourself?
Yeah, it's really important because some days football is crazy. It's a crazy sport. Some days you're down, some days you're up, some days you're off. You know, you you're a human being. You go through stuff at home. You're thinking stuff, right? So you're never like 100%, right? So and there's people that have been there, done that already, right? So they come and instill, they come talk to you and they're like, hey, don't worry, leave that. Whatever you have, whatever is happening at home, leave it at home. You come to the football field, you feel free. You play ball, then you go home again, and then you deal with what you have to deal with, right? So I had my mentor was this guy Christian, a Mexican, right?
Hmm.
Like, up he came in. I expected a Belizean like to teach me a lot of stuff. Like, I'm not saying they didn't teach me anything, but they taught me the basic stuff.
Hmm.
So there, there's not a lot of Belizeans that play my position, right?
Okay.
This guy from Christian from Mexico, he was like, oh, he calls me negro, right? And I don't find that as racist, right?
Yeah.
So negro, he like, do this. In order to see this position, you could do this. You could position yourself this way. So he was like, I'm literally going out. I'm getting older, so I gotta leave something with the youths, right? I was like I really appreciate that until this day. And then the whole thing with this, in the beginning, I used to watch him play. I didn't.
Wow.
I was not on the 11,
Uh,
on the 18, on the bleachers, and then he taught me all this. I got to start alongside him in the CONCACAF game, and that
yeah.
was like huge accomplishment for me.
Wow.
Yeah. He's been my mentor. He up to this day he went to another team. He came back. He still talks to me. Every day he sends me a message and he checks on me, how I'm doing and all that. And that's what you need.
Yeah, that's amazing. That yeah. Thank you for sharing that. On here, and yeah, I guess my thing would be, like I said, you're still such a great young talent, but what would be your advice to the youth, to the young players up and coming as well? Even though you're still young yourself, what would be your advice to them in Belize that are trying to get discovered, trying to make a name for themselves?
My What I would tell him would be stay locked in.
Hmm.
You never know what could happen. I
Yeah.
had to talk to some guys in the on the island like a week ago. No, a few days ago.
Hmm.
They have minimum resources to get off the island to play different teams, you know. So I told them Belize is not a big country, right? But we have a lot of good talent in Belize. So all
Oh
we
yeah.
need to stay dedicated. We need to stay locked in, and then the whole thing behind this is your education. So you gotta pursue your education, listen to your parents,
Mm.
and that take you a long way, right? So
Yeah.
that's basically told them.
Yeah, that's something, you talked about like the resources, and that's something that GSN is actually trying to create showcases this summer, and even moving forward past that, where young players can train and get basically a kind of spotlight on them to get opportunities, and we're working with different people on the ground to be able to do that. And so, if you would ever be available for something like that, we'd love to have you coach the kids one day or something. You're welcome to do that. We'd love to have you, on one of these showcases. But that's something that we're really working towards because we want to see more Belizean kids get opportunities and bring them the resources.
Yeah. You could count on me anytime if you have when I have time and you shoot me a message, I'm gonna be available for you guys. That's what I like to do. I like to pass on what I'm already learning. Okay.
Well, great. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you doing this interview. I think that was it. But thank you for coming on here. Happy birthday, and thank you for sharing your insight with the fans and young players watching.
All right. Thank you, bro. I really appreciate it. Have a
All
good one. Right.
right. Have a good one. Thank you. Bye.